then it must be. Yeah, it's gonna, if they can hear what's coming out here at some point, then. Oh yes. Now I can hear. Now
okay, fabulous. Are we live?
Good morning and welcome to Brit Champs, first game of the tournament. Apologies for the delay in getting on the mics. We had a few technical hitches. This game is underway. It's between Hull's Angels Roller Derby and Wiltshire Roller Derby. And we have first lead going to 1-3, which is green. So that's Frostbite.
So a quick hit and quit it there for Hull's Angels in the green. I'm going to quickly go through the roster. Seven is Hijacks, 6 is Danny, 64 is Dread Metal, and their captain is 85, which is Wilken. We're just going to start this next jam, so we'll go through Wiltshire's roster in just a second. The lead for Hull, second lead for Hull. The star is off for Wiltshire, a bit of a hop around. But I believe that is a power jam.
So also with a blocker in the box as Thrill takes a leap down the outside, picking up 4 further points for Hull.
Meanwhile, Wiltshire out of the penalty box managed to kind of sneak around the track with star in hand. Even if she did, she wouldn't have scored any points because she didn't have a star on.
And 13 points picked up in that jam by Thrill Murray. Next up we have 7-8, which is Linsane, up against number 6, Danny.
Wiltshire.
Whilst Linsane is knocked to the inside and then is back on track and now trying to get through a pack at the front.
Really strong defense.
Linsane being recycled, but the blocker tripping on her way back, going down, and therefore Linsane back on track and with a nice clear line down the inside, picks up Wiltshire's first lead jam.
Danny up in front just gets out the initial pass when the jam is called. No points scored in that jam.
So next we have Dread Metal with the star for Hull.
And up against him is Swift for Wiltshire in the white. Hull still having 2 blockers in the box, so a bit of a disadvantage, which Swift takes full advantage of, takes lead, second time in a row for Wiltshire, hopefully to get
And that is number 5, Haley, going to the box for a forearms penalty.
Dread Metal up in front, pushing the Wiltshire wall forward, but struggling to find the gap to just make their way through. Some real power there, pushing those blockers forward.
Challenging those links and trying to get through, but and successfully it does. Puts the star back on the helmet, and that jam has been called. The first points for Wiltshire going on the board. That was 3 points picked up by Swift.
Exactly what Wiltshire want to see. I mean, it's early stages of the game, but Hull kind of first couple of jams really ran away with it, so Wiltshire are going to be wanting to make up for lost time now. On the jam line, we've got Frostbite for Hull's Angels taking on Lorragade for Wiltshire.
And back to the matchup that we saw in Jam 1. So we are having an official timeout.
So while we got our timeout, let's just run through the roster for Wiltshire Roller Derby, who are in the white. So we've got 00 Lorragade, 17 is Ginge, 1550 is Reckless, 17 is Swift, 19 is Be Brutal, 22 is Skeletor, 249 is Serenity Shepherd, 4 is Lady T, 44 is Chloe, 5 is Haley, 58 is Diamond Dodge, 666 is Han Zoe Low, 702 is 702, and 78 is Linsane. So they have 4 more skaters on their roster than Hull do, so they might be playing the long game here in terms of keeping their energy levels. And that's another lead for Wiltshire, and that is Lorragade.
Yeah, just barging through the middle of the Hull wall. And again, just coming round, splitting up the blockers, looking down the inside line, juking to the outside line, coming round, getting through, picking up 4 full points.
Narrowly avoiding a hit from Hijacks there up in the front. Meanwhile, Frostbite up in front, just managing to avoid the hit and break free. So that's the initial pass done for Hull.
But is a power jam for Hull now, as the Renegade goes to the box for a back block. This is the first power jam for Hull.
So Frostbite is battling that wall at the back. A bit of assist there from Purd, but it just pushes the blockers forward. Manages to get a gap on the inside line, and that is a 4-point pass.
This jam will go the full 2 minutes, with Wiltshire getting lead jammer status at the start, but now serving a penalty. And the Renegade is back on track and making her way through that Hull pack for a second time.
There's people shouting, call it, but of course they can't call it because Wiltshire did have lead and they got the penalty, so it's a 2-minute jam. With only 10 seconds of it left to go. Hull on for another scoring pass now.
And the Renegade coming around, trying to get a few last points on these last few seconds.
And there was a star pass to Wilcombe, but I missed when it was. But there was a star pass to Hull in that jam.
So that was an 11 point to 14 in favour of Wiltshire. Takes the scores to 26 to 17.
So on the jam line, we've got Diamond Dodge for Wiltshire and Frill Murray for Hull. Both jammers trying to take the inside line, and Frill Murray kind of blocking Wiltshire as she takes it. A few hits round sees Frill Murray take lead for Hull. Meanwhile, Diamond Dodge is being recycled all the way back by Milv. She's taken the star off again, but there seems to be no pivot in sight. That's because they're in the penalty box, so she's got no one to pass to.
Skeletor, the pivot, now coming out of the box, delivering a hit, trying to create some space for Diamond Dodge.
It was a beautiful bit of offence. Meanwhile, Frill Murray with the scoring pass for Hull. That is the star pass in Wiltshire, successfully gone over. Was it to Skeletor?
To Skeletor, yes,
Thank
taking on the star, coming around on a scoring pass, but Frill Murray taps her hips, calls that jam, having picked up some points. Let's have a look.
An amount of points was scored.
Well, no points were scored by Wiltshire, and it looks like it was 8 points by Hull.
So Lynn Sane on the jam line for Wiltshire, taking on Danny from Hull. So Danny kind of trying to force that outside line, tries to sneak through on the outside, but is taken back.
So Lynn Sane going through on the inside.
Oh, but it is a cut penalty, so this means we've got another power jam for Hull. But Danny has already taken the star off, so we're going to have ourselves a 2-minute jam right here. So Danny kind of got hit out there by 702, but managed to get their hips back on before the recycle happened.
Okay, so this will go a full 2 minutes as we have the Wiltshire jammer in the box, but the Hull jammer had removed the star before they could become lead. So with a minute left on this.
Ooh, big hit there from Reckless of Wiltshire, taking Danny out on the outside. Lynn Sane is out of the penalty box, trying to make up for some lost time, taking some big hits from Hull there. Hull, very good team at kind of stripping off that speed from a jammer and really shutting it down with some big hits, but Wiltshire are just riding it in their stride, not letting it bother them. That is a star pass over to Hijacks of Hull.
And Hull doing a good job of recycling the Wiltshire jammer. Lynn Sane now dripping around the outside but being knocked out.
Hijacks just put the star on, so now coming around to score some points. So Skeletor assessed for a multiplayer penalty at the end of that jam, so Wiltshire will be starting with a blocker disadvantage going into the next jam.
That was a 7.24 jam. Scores are 41-21. 20 points the difference between these two sides. So we head on to jam 8. So after 8 jams, we've can see that both teams are playing a 4-jammer rotation. We are seeing the same matchups every time. So we now have 6-4 Dread Metal up against 1-7 Swift.
Now, you may have noticed that Hull were a bit late in fielding their blockers, so that means that one of their blockers has been sent to the bench because they entered the track too late, so that means they've got to do this full jam, one blocker down. I mean, it's not seemed to have impacted them greatly. They have managed to get lead regardless of that, but there's a bit of a flurry of skaters going to the penalty box right now, so it's looking like a very empty track with just Purdy to try and slow down the Wiltshire jammer up in front.
And which he did a good job there. Held her down for a few seconds.
I'm saying it's a one-woman job. I think should be pretty proud of that. So Dread Metal's called off the jam, but she has locked. Yeah, she's locked 2 Hull blockers, but also 2 Wiltshire blockers in the box. So it's going to start off with a bit of an empty track here. Loragade and Frostbite on the jam line.
as would have been expected. That is the first jam, the 5th jam and the 9th jam. We see this pairing line up. And so far both they have one lead jam each. This one goes to Hull, with Frostbite getting around the last blocker from Wiltshire.
Meanwhile, Lorigade is also out of the penalty box, so both of them on a scoring pass in quick succession. Frostbite getting the hips, or appearing to get hips around the last blocker. Yes, she does. That is the 4 points, and then calling it off. Just seeing if Wiltshire managed to get any points before that call-off happened, because it was quite tight for time there.
Sticking with the 4 jam rotation, we have Diamond Dodge up against Thrill Murray.
And no points picked up by Wiltshire in that last jam, so just in the nick of time for Hull.
So
Diamond Dodge hopping around that outside line, but that's a back block penalty, so that's a power jam in favour of Hull.
I was just about to say that was the first lead jam for Diamond Dodge, but
close but not quite. But that's Thrill Murray who takes the lead.
That's 3 out of 3 for Murray, and we have 52 points to 25. So we have a palindromic score at the moment. That's about to change with Hull coming round on scoring pass.
Again, quite a few blockers head into the penalty box now, so Hull suffering a disadvantage as Wiltshire's jammer returns to the track. She has still got her initial pass to do though. Wilkin hitting off on the outside, but Diamond Dodge managing to get round, so absolutely neck on neck with Thrill Murray as they come round for a scoring pass. Thrill Murray wants none of it, calls off the jam.
Now we have a team timeout called by Wiltshire. Scores are 60 to Hull, 25 to Wiltshire. Hull picking up 8 points in that last jam.
See, we're not seeing so far any kind of difference between the teams in terms of energy levels. I mean, obviously Hull are 4 skaters down compared to Wiltshire, but right now they're maintaining their stamina as if they've got the same amount, which is impressive at this stage, and it'll be great if we can see that continue throughout the game, but only time will tell.
And they are sharing out their jammer duties among their 8 players, with 4 in the jammer rotation, which is going to see Danny up next.
Well, Hull have seen quite a big roster change in the last year. Compared to last season, a lot of their jammers have gone separate ways from moving house or whatever else happens in your personal lives. So the only jammer that we've got from last season that's consistent is Thrill Murray, and I've not seen them much this season, but I think all of the other jammers will be new to jamming this season, but they're all kind of holding their own and making it look simple, really.
Indeed, they've got 6 lead jams between them to the 3 for Wiltshire. As we see number 6 Danny skip down the inside, but picking up a cut track penalty. So a chance for Wiltshire to get the lead jam.
Well, there's been a signal from the referee that she's through but not as lead. So I'm going to assume that there was a no pass, no penalty there. And so now she's on a scoring pass with 4 points. So does this mean we have no lead for 2 minutes?
We will have no lead for 2 minutes. This jam will run for the next 1 minute 20. Chance for Wiltshire to claw back a few of these points. Currently 31 behind.
So all of Wiltshire kind of going on the offence there. Big apex jump from Danny, but not quite landed. She's gone back up, but our feet must have gone down successfully because the refs are saying that's fine.
Fine, yeah. 7:02. Skating back, trying to do the recycle, but Danny did manage to land inbounds. This is a good jam for Wiltshire, having picked up 12 points, 30 seconds left of the jam.
Oh, you can really see there Danny kind of trudging at the front, trying to get through that Wiltshire wall, but they're just staying strong, not giving an inch. Because this is a sort of jammer where she wants to bulldoze her way through.
Mills coming in, trying to do a bit of offence to help her jammer through. Now having to bridge out. Also doing a bit of defence, taking Linsane off to the inside. Hull picking up 4 and Wiltshire picking up a further 4 in that last round. Score is currently at 64-41.
So on the jam line, we've got Swift jamming up against Dread Metal.
This is the third matchup of these two jammers. They have one lead apiece. Dread Metal trying to get down the inside and is through. They are your lead jammer.
Swift has taken the star off, and that has been passed. I believe that's Be Brutal.
Indeed, it is to 1-9, Be Brutal.
So Be Brutal now up for a scoring pass, trying to sneak through the inside line, managing to get past Milv, score some points for Wiltshire. As Dread Metal approaches for another scoring pass. Beautiful bit of offence. Well, it was beautiful and illegal. Milv's going to go and have a sit down for that, I believe. But it did the job.
It did indeed do the job, picking up a further 4 points for Hull. So that's 8-4 off of that jam. And we now have Frostbite up against Le Renegade.
3-on-3 pack as we go into this jam.
There's Le Renegade trying to get to the Hull pack that's at the front. The Frostbite being recycled by Skeletor, guided into the 3-wall as that becomes a 4-wall with Chloe coming back on, having served her penalty.
An out of play was called on those last two Hull blockers, allowing Le Renegade to take lead.
Whilst Frostbite is still on their initial pass, and both jammers being, I was going to say recycle, but no, as Frostbite going to the penalty box, so it will be a power jam for Wiltshire. The Hull wall doing a sturdy job. Wiltshire trying to deliver some offence. Le Renegade comes down the inside, picks up the first 4 points of this jam.
I think Le Renegade kind of went to take the star off then, and you could hear the bench desperately going, for the love of God, don't take it off. Maybe not realising that she was lead, or just going desperately, I don't know how I'm getting through this, but she did.
She did, and then comes around on that second scoring pass and gets through without being touched at all. No challenge coming in.
Frostbite is out of the penalty box, hopping her way around. That is the initial pass done, I believe.
Yeah, but the jam has been called. With Wiltshire picking up 8 points.
Yeah, good jam for Wiltshire there, closing the points gap ever so slightly. So Diamond Dodge and Frill Murray on the jam line. Wiltshire with, both teams with 2 blockers in the box. So again, a bit of an empty track as we go in. Frill Murray up in front with 1 blocker to hit.
Yeah, Haley trying to stop Thrill Murray getting through, but Thrill is your lead jammer.
I mean, it wasn't bad defence from Hayley, just unfortunately it was about a mile away from the pack when she did it.
That gave Thrill Murray 4th out of 4 lead jams.
Going for that perfect score, I think. So we got Danny and Lindsay on the jam line.
4th time we'll see this matchup. It is sticking to their 4 jammer rotation. We haven't seen any changes in the matchups.
Lindsay taking lead for Wiltshire.
That's at 2 apiece now on their lead jammer statuses. Lindsay coming round on a scoring pass.
Lindsay really picking up some speed, and Holler really separated. Big hit onto Hijacks as Lindsay comes through for a 4-point pass. Danny with the start off is now finished the initial pass.
Yeah, is through on a scoring pass as Lindsay gets knocked to the outside, taps her hips, calls that jam.
Picks up a couple of points there.
Indeed, picking up 6 points, clawing back. There's now just 17 points between these two sides. Hull on 76, Wiltshire on 59. We have 6.5 minutes left of this first half.
So a 17-point difference.
And Hull call a team timeout with 6 minutes 16 left on the clock.
I love how Hull's bench there was just kind of stood there sneakily, even looked at the camera going, you know what I'm going to do. I'm not meant to be in the middle at the start of the jam. That's crazy.
There's the shout for 5 seconds, so it's just enough time for me to say, oh, I'd like a timeout, please.
Just before you do your next thing, let me just say something. Oh, all our officials there who are helping out over the weekend doing a totes profesh job.
Yeah, and our officials for this game are Nuts, Ginger Snaps, Mofo Princess, Mischief, Alf A. Wolf, Stellar Revolution, Judge Tread, Hissing Hellcat, Critical Mash, Louise, Petty, Sarcasm, Razor, Julius Caesar, Book Her DeWitt, Matt Newton, Errington, Anton Deck, and Little Nipper. So we have a Dread Metal up against Swift. So far in this jammer matchup, that is Dread Metal has 2 lead jams, Swift has 1 lead jam. It's the 4th matchup.
Fairly even scoring though, and just to even it out perfectly, that's Wiltshire taking lead.
So Swift on scoring pass. Star comes off of the head of Dread Metal. They look at passing the Star, but their pivot is behind them. They're not going to, they're just fighting down the inside, trying to push this Wiltshire wall forward.
They did nearly get the Star over to Hijacks, the Hull pivot, but just as they did, Wiltshire did a really good job at kind of separating them to the inside and the outside, making it impossible to do the pass. That's a big hit onto Dread Metal, onto the outside, so being recycled all the way back by Be Brutal, miles back there.
As Hayley going to the penalty box. Well, then as Dread Metal gets through and is now on a scoring pass as Swift is taken to the floor and calls the jam off from the floor.
10-point jam by Wiltshire.
10-point jam for Wiltshire, bringing up 76 for Hull, 69 for Wiltshire. Nice. That was for our producer Liam. Liam needs some here, giving us some insight into what's going on. As we see.
So that is Diamond Dodge and Frostbite with the Star this time round. So Diamond Dodge is acting as an extra blocker because Wiltshire have got a disadvantage there, but as Frostbite pushes those blockers forward, it just sucks Diamond Dodge into that Hull wall. Frostbite has taken lead for Hull.
Yeah, which is her 5th lead jam, keeping up a perfect 100% record. Diamond Dodge is through though, and is now on a scoring pass, and just getting called off just before she could get past any hips. But quick enough that Hull only picked up 2 points in that jam.
Well, at this point, I think both teams are going to be playing defensively. Like, with how close the points is, I don't feel like you're in a position where you can take many risks. No,
it's just 7 points as we come into the last 3.5 minutes of this first half.
So that's Frill Murray and Laura Gade. Laura Gade hit out on the outside, but very quick to get back on track. Frill Murray pushing those blockers forward. And that is lead for Hull.
So it's Frill Murray doing 2 jams on the trot and picking up lead jammer in both of them.
As I said, a very well-seasoned jammer. They want to take advantage of that.
Yeah, the previous jam was a very short jam. So that's again another 2 points for Hull, just stretching out this lead to 11 points.
So Lynn Sane and Dread Metal with the star. About 2.5 minutes to go until we hit half-time.
Jam is underway and the blockers all starting up at the pivot line and moving back onto the jammers. We see something rolling. Looks like someone's lost a wheel. They're coming onto the infield. Certainly a bit of debris rolling around.
Yeah, I think that's Lynn Sane's wheel that has been lost.
Yes.
So that's going to be a bit of a struggle for Wiltshire as the jammer.
Clearly not. Lynn Sane just must have the clip-on nuts as she's back on track.
Yeah, just kind of popped it straight back on.
Yeah.
I don't know what wheels you have to be able to do that, but okay. Well, I believe both jammers have taken the star off. Yeah, both jammers have taken the star off. Yeah. So there's going to be no lead, but Lynn Sane's managed to get out first, and Dread Metal's not far behind her. I think there may have been some confusion. I mean, if you don't see the other jammer in the pack, you just assume they got out, and then you take it off.
And Lynn Sane, having lost the wheel, probably took hers off, trying to thinking of passing, and then getting the wheel back on, clipping it on, and in and
so both jammers being recycled back respectively. F-bomb with the hit out, but that I believe was a clockwise. Another big hit out onto Dread Metal as Wiltshire gets another 4 points on the board.
Dread Metal being recycled by 1-3 Ginge.
And Ginge on the way back to the wall, just denying Purdy from being able to do the recycle as well. Really good awareness there from that blocker.
So that was 4 points to Hull, 11 Wiltshire.
4 point difference as we go into, well, last few seconds. Not sure if we'll get another jam out before half time.
Unless a timeout is called.
I'm just waiting from the officials to confirm that. I believe what kind of happens is once the time runs out, you are the clock runs a little bit of extra time just in case someone needs to call an official review.
Yes.
So I think that's what our officials were doing there, is they've let the time run and then you just run a little bit extra in case people need their official reviews to be called.
30 seconds at the end if you have your official review left.
Absolutely. But as no team has called a timeout or an official review, that has run now to half-time.
And the scores at half-time are 84 to Hull, 80 to Wiltshire. And we will see you back here in around 12 minutes.
See you soon.
See you.
Okay, and we are back, just about to go into our second half of Hull's Angels Roller Derby taking on Wiltshire Roller Derby, Hull in the green and Wiltshire in the white. So we left off with Hull at 84 points and Wiltshire at 80 points.
And we start the second half the way we started the first half, with the Renegade up against Frostbite. And the Wolves rolling back, and the Jammers rolling back as well. And then the Renegade looking down the inside line.
The Renegade manages to take lead there for Wiltshire.
Going down the outside, picking up lead for Wiltshire.
Frostbite up in front with just one blocker to pass, and she does. That's a big hit on the outside, forcing the call off onto Wiltshire.
Wiltshire picking up just 1 point on that jam. We see a Diamond Dodge up against Thrill Murray. Wiltshire starting with a blocker in the box.
Diamond Dodge, very quick work on the inside line there to take lead. I believe that's the first time managing to get a lead against Thrill Murray for this game so far.
Indeed it is.
And very quick work of getting a scoring pass there. That's 4 points on the board.
Is that her first lead? That also gives a lead change.
First lead change of the game. Ooh,
oh,
no. Oh, no.
Yeah, no,
oh.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, what's happening? So that's 8 points picked up by Wiltshire. Changes the score to 89 to 84 for Hull. So 5 point difference and a lead change. Wiltshire take the lead for the first time this game so far. So I believe that's Frostbite again and the Renegade again. So the first half we were seeing Jammers only doing really 1 in 4 rotation, so we might be seeing them on more often the second half. The Renegade takes lead for Wiltshire.
It's actually Lynn Sane.
Lynn Sane.
Lynn Sane blocking for Wiltshire. Up against...
Well, no wonder she looks fresh as a daisy.
Yes, but this is Frostbite back on after doing the first jam, is also on for the third jam. Being knocked to the inside. It is a power jam for Wiltshire.
So Frostbite has picked up a cut penalty. So exactly what Wiltshire want at this stage to try and grow that points differential now that they've taken their lead. Just getting hit off by F-Bomb there, but F-Bomb also went off on the outside, so allowing Lynn Sane to just jump straight back on and get the 4 points.
Being knocked to the ground by F-Bomb to the outside, and then calling that jam. Having picked up a further 1 point.
I believe the bench was trying to get Wiltshire to call it to lock Hull in the penalty box with their jammer, but just a bit too late there as Frostbite was released from the penalty box just before that whistle went. So we're starting with both jammers on the track, and that will be Swift and Thrill Murray.
So Hull just running a 2-jammer rotation at the moment with Thrill Murray and Frostbite taking it in turns. We do have Swift pushing away at the front and getting through to become lead jammer. That's 4 on the trot for Wiltshire.
A blocker apiece going to the penalty box. So Frommer's taken the start off and is up in front, pushes the last few blockers forward to be out of play. Meanwhile, Swift has been out on the outside and is trying to fight for those points. Does a little spin round middle and then calls off the jam.
Hull not able to pick up any points on that pass. There's a further 4 for Wiltshire, extending their lead now to 10 points. This will be Laura Renegade up against Danny. Danny back into the jammer rotation. Going down the inside, being knocked off by 702.
Wiltshire taking lead once again.
The Renegade through and lead jammer coming around on a scoring pass. As Danny has removed the star and is fighting up against a 3 wall at the front. A nice tripod there braced by 702. And Danny breaking through the back 2 up against 702, pushing past. And as she does, the Renegade gets through, picking up 4 further points for the team in white. Wiltshire now on 98.
I think it's a very slow and steady approach from Wiltshire here, just getting the points they need, calling it off.
Yeah, they are gradually extending their lead, having clawed back the 4-point difference at half-time. They've scored in every jam of this second half, taking lead in all 5. This is now the 6th jam. And we see Diamond Dodge up against Frostbite.
Diamond Dodge up in front, manages to get past those last blockers that were on track.
We see Wiltshire maintain their 100% start to this second half, picking up their 6th lead jam as Diamond Dodge is knocked to the outside, being recycled.
Frostbite up in front. I believe the Wiltshire blockers were out of play there, so that allows them to complete the initial pass.
And Diamond Dodge showing a burst of speed, getting past Frostbite to get through to pick up some points. Frostbite picking up 2 for Hull. That is their first points of this second half. I also see Wiltshire break the 100 mark. We have a score of 102 to 86. And we will see Lynn Sane lining up for Wiltshire, up against Thrill Murray. Thrill Murray going down the outside. Wiltshire starting with just 3 blockers on track. So a chance here for Hull to use this to their advantage, pushing away at the front. Some good work there, Ginge 702, and now they are being pushed out and they're
just inches away from out of play.
Out of
there
play.
We go.
And Hull picking up their first lead of the second half.
Lindsay trying to take that inside line, but is denied by Wilken. Big hit there to force the recycle. Frillmore is now on for a scoring pass, getting trapped behind 702 and Serenity Shepherd.
Some good one-on-one blocking. It's Thrill Murray through, picking up 4 points for Hull.
The star has been passed now to 702. First time taking the star for Wiltshire today. Thrill Murray brushing off the hits of Wiltshire there to take the 4 points and call off the jam before 702 could come round to score any points.
There's 8 points in that jam for Hull. Need to score to 9,403. 9 points between these two sides as we see Swift up against Dread Metal. And this time it is Hull starting with just 3 blockers. So Wiltshire with the blocker advantage.
And that is Swift taking lead. Dread Metal taken down on the outside. But really picking up some speed now, pushing the Wiltshire blockers forward at the front. Swift on for a scoring pass at the back.
Good bridging out. But Haley sent to the box, and that releases Dread Metal through on her initial pass.
Olivia Newton-Bond with the recycle there onto Swift, forcing the call off as Dread Metal approaches for a scoring pass, denying any points to be picked up from Hull. And just one picked up by Wiltshire. Very strong defence. That was a long time that Hull are denying points there.
Indeed, we've been playing 10 minutes of this second half, and it's been very low scoring so far, with Hull picking up 10 points. And Wiltshire have picked up at 23. Sorry, 24 points.
About that, it sounded right.
Yes,
I believed you.
It was 20. It was about 23, and then of course they picked one up in the last jam.
Oh, okay.
24. This is Wiltshire through and lead jam for Le Renegade, but closely followed by Frostbite.
Yeah, both jammers absolutely racing back to the pack. The pack's really sped up now to try and, I think they're trying to empty the penalty box a bit, because Hull have been suffering with a lot of blockers in the box.
And that was great play by Le Renegade and her blocker, speeding up the pack, giving her space on the outside just to glide past. And just as she did, her blocker was released from the box, taps the hips, calls the jam, picks up 4 points. So we see Thrill Murray up against Diamond Dodge.
An official timeout has been called. They're signalling towards Milv, who's in the penalty box. I know Milv was on quite high penalties at half time.
Yeah,
so
Milv started the second half having served 5 penalties.
So it's either going to be you fouled out or you're very close, from what I can gather of what the officials are kind of chatting about. But we'll wait and see. They've not told her to leave, so it looks like she's on 6.
So that must be 6. They were just checking something else.
Obviously, Hull really not wanting to lose any skaters to a foul out, seeing as they have the skater disadvantage on the bench. Diamond Dodge have taken lead for Wiltshire. Frill Murray jamming up against trying to get the initial pass. A beautiful little distraction there from Milv on the offence to see Frill Murray through on the outside line.
Indeed, Milv is a player that Hull will not want to lose throughout the second half. So on 6 penalties, she'll have to play the next 18 and a half minutes very carefully.
Oh, so that was a last second timeout. I thought that Hull might accidentally bench a bit too late there and not have a jammer, which would be catastrophic at this point with such a close game.
So that is a team timeout called by Wiltshire. At the start of the second half, we said Milv was on 5 penalties. F-Bomb had served 4 in the first half, and Purdy had served 4. All the rest on Hull were on 3 or less. Whereas for Wiltshire, there was number 22 Skeletor and 5 Haley, both having served 4 apiece. We have 18 minutes exactly left of the game.
And in that time, they need to learn how to behave, quite
Indeed,
frankly.
Yes.
Need to have a sit down, think about what they've done.
hello Razor. We'll just wave at the refs. They can't see us. We're behind a.
Well, we're
kind of caged in behind some.
We're up on a balcony, so we can look down on them judgingly, but they're too engulfed in their professional work. They would never notice what we're messing about with. Anyway, back on track. So Swift is jamming for Wiltshire. We've got Danny jamming for Hull. Danny doing her signature kind of barreling through. Just get your shoulders down and trudge. That is another lead for Wiltshire with Swift coming round for a scoring pass. Danny's taken the start off, and I believe it has been passed to Olivia Newton-Bomb as Danny is now blocking. Yes, so that's Olivia Newton-Bomb now fighting for the initial pass against Wiltshire, taking a big hit on the inside line.
Newton-Bomb at the back, but coming round the outside to complete the initial. Just the star on, covering up the pivot stripe. F-Bomb, one of those with 4 penalties from the first half, having to serve another one, back on track. Getting into the wall and straight into the action with a bit of one-on-one blocking with Swift. Swift calls that.
But not before Olivia Newton-Bomb managed to complete a scoring pass of her own. So that's 4 points picked up by Hull in that jam.
So this jam will see Frostbite for Hull, up against La Renegade for Wiltshire.
Wiltshire seeming to have only two blockers on track, sorry.
Ginge returning from the penalty box, delivering some offence and some very well coordinated and effective offence to get La Renegade through to become lead jammer.
Meanwhile, Frostbite up in front, trying to get past Be Brutal. Big hit from Serenity Shepherd, but Frostbite managing to keep the momentum going to see her through. Didn't get back to score any points, but that forced the call off onto Wiltshire. 4 points picked up.
So we've had 12 jams in this second half, 11 of which Wiltshire have taken lead jam. We will see Diamond Dodge up against Thrill Murray. .702 in amongst the three wall, delivering a bit of offence, now returning to the defence as Thrill Murray just steps out of bounds, recycles to the back. Diamond dodges through and is lead jammer for Wiltshire.
Thrill Murray is out for the initial pass, so both skaters on a scoring pass now. Diamond Dodge tries to take the inside line, but not quite enough space there to be able to do it. I believe that's a skating out of bounds penalty, so I think the refs would have assessed it as that she went out of bounds to avoid the hit. So that's a power jam in favour of Hull. No lead jammer. We're running to 2 minutes, and Thrill Murray is on a second scoring pass. Beautiful offence from Hull there, just keeping Wiltshire a mile away from their jammer.
This is Hull's first power jam of the second half. Thrill Murray trying to take full advantage, coming down the inside of that apex and then pushing through into the middle, round the outside, picking up a further 4 points.
Diamond Dodge is back on track now. Fought through the inside line, picked up 4 points. Thrill Murray's tried to call it off, but of course she's not lead, so they're just going to keep on going and ignore her, pretend they don't see it.
Yeah. A chance to claw back some points if the Hull wall can hold down Diamond Dodge, which they are starting to do at the back.
Beautiful one-on-one blocking there by 702, but she is taken out by Purdy.
And both jammers through, 5 seconds left. A chance for Hull to pick up a few more points before this jam is called, which she does.
Yeah, a beautiful weave round, the full 4 points there by Hull in that last 2 seconds worth of a pass.
And that is actually our highest scoring jam of the game, 24 points to 12.
Oh, wow.
36 points scored in that jam, but 24 is the highest scored by either team. So some good work there from Hull. And we'll see Lindsay up against Dread Metal.
Lindsay taking the inside line but losing her foot, and she up here stays in bounds. Yes, that's right, as she takes lead. So Dread Metal pushing forward with the last couple of blockers, gets through on the inside. Meanwhile, Lindsay being hit out on the inside line by Wilken, calling off the jam. Not managing to get past any hips though.
So going from the highest scoring jam to the lowest scoring jam, 0-0. But that high scoring jam from Hull did manage to reduce Wiltshire's lead to just 10 points. As we go into the last 12 minutes of this game, we have Swift up against Frostbite.
Am I right in thinking Swift has just done one? Or am I just remembering things wrong?
You are remembering.
Okay,
things.
that's
Swift
fine.
did one 4 jams ago.
Oh, okay, never mind, ignore me.
Oh,
So
never ignore you, Stormy. Never ignore you.
So Frostbite has taken lead in this jam. That's for Hull. And Wiltshire have taken the start off.
But it has not been passed, but has been used as a star stash. Swift gets through. Hull calling that one, having picked up 4 points with just their second lead jam of the second half. That will be Thrill Murray up against Le Renegade. With Hull starting with 1 in the box and Wiltshire with 1 in the box.
The Renegade takes lead, but she's not alone with Thrill Murray chasing her down around that pack. Approaching for a scoring pass, the Renegade hopping round on the inside line and calling off a jam. That's 2 points.
2 points for Wiltshire. So Hull currently with 3 players on 6 penalties. 1-9 F-bomb, 2-0 Milv, and 3-3 Purdy. Wiltshire have one of their own, which is 2-2 Skeletor. And we will see Diamond Dodge up against Danny in this jam. This is jam 17 of the second half.
So you can see Danny up in front there. Again, just trying to get shoulders in and push her way forward. Trying to sneak through on the inside, but that line is denied as Diamond Dodge manages to create a gap and get through his lead for Wiltshire. The star is off and has been passed to Hijacks of Hull. First time taking the star today. So Hijacks has got the star on now with Diamond Dodge getting a beautiful assist there from Ginge, but Hull shutting that line down.
Being recycled by Newton Bomb. Back and there's now a 2-wall. 3-wall now, but being split up, and Dodge is through for a further 4 points for Wiltshire. That's her second scoring pass of this jam.
Hijack's doing some work to push the Wiltshire wall forward, but they've got quite a strong 2-wall there. Manages to just pirouette round the inside line very gracefully. So So just as the initial pass is complete, Wiltshire call off the jam.
Further 1 point. That was 9 points on that jam for Wiltshire, 143 to 126. Just over 8 minutes left. We will see Swift for Wiltshire, and that will be Frostbite for Hull. Swift looking at going down the outside, but being guided to, then making your way to the inside and getting through to become a lead jammer. It's the 16th lead jam of this second half for Wiltshire.
Wilkins getting in a position to take a star pass, but now isn't having to drop back to bridge so that they can keep the pack.
Yes. I was almost like Wilkins didn't actually want to take it, but now she's going down the inside, takes the star.
I mean, from speaking to her, I wouldn't be shocked if that was the genuine tactic. But no, she's taken the star now and is doing a fair fight to try and get that initial pass done.
That is F-Bomb going to the box. That will see F-Bomb foul out after her 7th penalty. But also going to the box is Swift. So this will be a power jam for the pivot turned jammer.
Yeah, that was a cut penalty assist to Swift. So Wilkins being recycled miles back there, I believe by Serenity Shepherd.
But now the offence coming in to help Wilkin try and get through, but the Wiltshire pack reform at the front. Offence now coming in from the rear, trying to give Wilkin an opportunity to get down the inside. But now
Swift is coming out of the penalty box though, so Hull managing to stop that offence and reform quick enough to engage a defence for Wiltshire coming back out. So Hull has still not quite got their initial pass done. So that's 2 minute jam. Very strong defence by Wiltshire there.
Good power jam kill there for the full 30 seconds. In fact, for the whole 2 minutes, that was a very strong defensive performance.
Absolutely.
But then Hull also put in their own good defensive performance there, with Wiltshire only picking up 2 points.
Oh, an official review has been called, so that's just what they're all discussing in the middle. I've been told that the referee should have a mic to tell us what happens at the end of it, but obviously while they're chatting, we don't know. Could be anything. Looks very serious though.
Yes, let's see who called that official review.
Let's have a look at the scoreboard. That normally gives you an indicator.
The official review was called by Hull. Yes.
So Hull have called the official review.
NSO's just signalled over to the Hull bench.
So we'll just wait for the refs to discuss that, give a bit of feedback, and then hopefully we'll get to find out what it was all about. But we've got just over 5 minutes left of gameplay. 1-2-6 to Hull, 1-4-5 to Wiltshire. I'm not very good at maths, but that's not a very big points gap. Thank you, Liam Needsom. That is 19 points. Proper pro.
I'm here for the maths, Liam, please.
Pro producing by Liam Needsom just to tell me what the points difference is, because I cannot do maths.
Yeah, so despite Wiltshire getting the vast majority of the lead jams in this second half, they've all been fairly low scoring, picking up mainly 4 points or less. The big jam coming in jam 13, where Wiltshire picked up 12, but due to a power jam, Hull picked up 24 points, which was much needed for Hull in this second half. The referees are still discussing this. And skaters are taking to the tracks. I believe that official review has come to an end. We will try and get an update to you.
I'm just messaging our announcers downstairs, see if we can get the gossip. I'll let you know if we hear back. Okay, so that is Le Renegade up to jam, up against Frill Murray, who's up in front. Frill Murray's got a smile on her face. I like to see that. Okay, so I've just been informed that the official review was in regards to Hull reviewing a cut onto the opposing jammer that wasn't called, but the official review was unsuccessful. So we're carrying on as if nothing happened. Frill Murray has taken lead with Le Renegade right behind her, so she's taken no chances calls off the jam.
That's Milv in the box, which will...
So that will be a foul out then to Milv.
So yeah, that will see the second foul out for Hull, as Milv will be exiting this game with just 4.5 minutes left. We have an official timeout whilst Milv is removed.
And so it's really just skaters being selfish. So don't think about the logistics involved for the officials when there's a foul out. It's really inconsiderate, I feel.
Well, you know, they're getting their own back. The officials have given them the penalties, and now they're going to go, well, you gave the penalties to me. If you hadn't given me the penalties, I wouldn't be here.
I mean, I don't think that's quite the attitude the refs would encourage, but no. I do like it.
So both these teams at Champs having secured their playoff places through the season. Hull were playing in Tier 2 North. They were champions of that tier, winning all 4 of their games. Wiltshire come here having finished second in 2 Tier West, winning 3 and just losing 1 game to North Wales, and that was only by a score of 186 to 169. We're back underway. Wiltshire are through and lead jammer status for Diamond Dodge.
That is Dread Metal who is jamming for Hull. Wiltshire very quick on recycling their blockers back in front. Every time Dread Metal thinks that they're through, there's another blocker just appeared in their way. Diamond Dodge coming around for a scoring pass with a beautiful weave round. That's a 4-point pass as Dread Metal completes their initial.
I think that could be another foul out for Hull.
Well, there's an official timeout, so we'll wait and see. But that, yeah, I think you're right.
Yes, I think that's Purdy has now reached her maximum number of penalties.
So just over 3.5 minutes left. That drops Hull to just having 7 skaters. So it's not an easy position to be in at this stage of the game with the points so close.
There is just over 3.5 minutes left of the game. That's 3.5 minutes for Hull to try and claw back the 27 points they are behind. We are underway with Frill Murray up against Swift. Swift is quickly out of the pack and lead jammer.
Frill Murray up in front, so that's the initial pass done. And that's a quick 4 points on the board for Wiltshire.
Not sure actually letting this jam go, and Hull will be picking up some points. But
probably trying to clear the penalty box. You don't really want to start a jam with just 2 blockers, and that was the position that they were in at that stage of the game. So when they know they're ahead and they're not too critical on points, you want to start your next jam on with in a stronger position.
Yeah, and with lead jammer status, they are in control of when they can bring this jam to an end. At this stage of the game, as long as they are picking up points and not getting any penalties from their jammer, they will be happy as they pick up a further 4 points. And we have a well, the star has been removed, and now the pass has been completed, and Newton Bomb takes over from being pivot.
So that's a 2-point pass. So there's only 2 points picked up while the star was on someone's head.
That's an excellent jam for Wiltshire at this stage of the game, giving them a 36-point lead with just 1 minute 45 left. There's the Renegade up against Dread Metal.
Oh, big hit down onto the Renegade.
Dread Metal being recycled by Be Brutal.
The Renegade's taken the lead for Wiltshire. Dread Metal's taken their star off. That's another 4 points on the board, and another star pass to Olivia Newton-Bomb again.
There's 2 jams on the trot. The star has been passed to Olivia Newton-Bomb.
And jumping round on the inside line, calling off the jam with the 4 points intact.
Extending the lead to 44. As we approach just the last 30 seconds of this game, it will be Diamond Dodge up against Frostbite.
Frostbite hit out by Wilken as the jam starts, and again by Olivia Newton-Bomb. Frostbite up in front with a bit of a fence from Danny, but Diamond Dodge on the inside line takes lead.
There's a big hit there, taking Frostbite to the outside and onto the floor. Frostbite again with the star removed, looking at passing for a hat-trick now for Olivia Newton-Bomb. 3 jams on the trot, taking the star. Olivia Newton-Bomb coming round, looking to pick up some points as the jammer.
Diamond Dodge has got their points, but doesn't seem to be in any desperate rush to call off the jam. I think she's just having a good time racking up the points and going, you know what, today is too good to call it quits. It just calls it off there. I believe Olivia Newton-Bomb managed to pick up a couple of points in that.
Indeed, she picked up 3 points. That's the unofficial final score is 135 to 182, 47 points between the 2 sides.
Just waiting for confirmation from the officials that that is end of game as the final whistle hasn't gone. And there it goes.
So a very strong second half from Wiltshire, starting the second half just 4 points behind, but ending it 47 points in front. That was a 106-point second half for Wiltshire, and just 51 points scored by Hull in that second half.
Very intense game, I feel. Very intense game. I feel like it was pretty unpredictable throughout. I mean, as we started the first half, Hull seemed like they were kind of running away with it a little bit, and Wiltshire just said we're not having any of that, and closed it right back up again.
Yeah, Wiltshire, it took them a few jams to get into their stride.
Yes, I agree. But once they got there, that was it. It was almost like no stopping them.
That second half was a formidable performance. As the officials line up for some photographs, and I'm sure the teams will be along in a minute. Are we having interviews? Are you aware?
I believe our in-house announcers will be interviewing the teams, so we should be watching that shortly as soon as the teams have done hugging the refs, as is tradition. So I'm not sure which of our announcer buddies will be doing that, but you will get a bit of a chance to hear some answers from the teams who have just gotten off track. So we will leave you to that. You've been listening to Stormageddon and Tom Bowler.
Thank you very much for joining us. There will be plenty more roller derby. I will be back joining you for the last game of today. Stormy?
I'm back in a couple, but I can't remember who's playing. But yeah, either way, there's lots of roller derby, and we'll see you very, very soon.